Alright everyone, welcome to episode 56 of the Dunk Dynasty Podcast. Today it is a season preview of the awards. Dunk Dynasty Podcast crew picking who we think are going to win the major awards this season. So you've got myself, Panache Yashanu here with Jed Mitchell, the Terminator, as well as Eddie Mac, Ethan McDonald. Episode 56, lots to be excited for. One sleep until the new season begins. Boys, how are we feeling?
Mate, can't wait for the season to start. Excited for this sensational award show we've got coming in. It's going to be a ripper, and the season's going to be a ripper. Can't wait.
Can't believe it's finally here. The NBA starts tomorrow. This is what we live for. It's going to be a long season with a lot of changes. I feel like going into this off-season hasn't been a huge amount of surprises, but as soon as the games start, we'll see those players start to blossom and those players start to struggle. So excited for what lies ahead.
It's a big season, bro. And obviously, starts tomorrow. You've got the Lakers playing the T-Wolves, and then you've also got the defending champions starting at home, ring night, the Celtics versus the Knicks. So we'll give our predictions as well at the end for that, which should be exciting. But before we start, of course, housekeeping, make sure that you go over to social media, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all the good stuff. Follow us, keep up to date when their new episodes are dropping. And if you're a new listener, whatever platform you're listening on, make sure that you leave us a rating or a review. Or if you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and share the podcast everywhere you know. Actually, just share with your friends and family. That's the easiest place to do it. And keep us growing. The more we grow, the more content we'll be producing for you guys. But with that being said, let's get to it. So, NBA awards. First award, the big kahuna, the big fish, the heavy hitter. Most valuable player for this season coming up 24-25. Who do you think that's going to be, Ethan?
What was it? Sorry, you said me? You want me to... I'll kick it off. No,
yes,
I'll kick it off. So, for my most valuable player award, I believe he's going to be obviously the best player in the league, but I think he has earned the title to be the best player in the league, and he's going to lead his team to... can't actually remember where I had them last podcast, but he's going to be Luka Doncic. Is going to be the MVP this season.
Any reason why, or are you just going to park it there?
I'm just going to park it there because I think it's pretty self-explanatory as to why he's going to be the best player in the league. I think he's taken Jokic's throne. Embiid, he's not going to play enough games to get it anyway. So it's going to be Luka, and I'm excited to see him carry the Mavericks through to the promised land.
This guy really just picked the favorite, the odds-on favorite.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear
what do you
the defensive player of the year.
Okay, you're going to come in here and just pick Jamal Murray or something just to be a bit, oh, come on, man. Be realistic. It's going to be Luka.
The whole world.
No one else.
The whole world knows my pick. I've said my pick, I think, every single episode since last season ended. Ja Morant, MVP. You heard it here first. Get on the markets nice and early. How much is that paying? A lot. Ja Morant, MVP.
You can tell P's just chasing his betting losses with a pick like that. Mate, you're in too deep. You've got a problem. Lay off the gambling.
Oh.
Choose someone realistic.
So you really going Luka? You guys think? Well, my only reason for Luka not winning is probably because injury. That's it. I mean, you go into the season hurt, you usually don't make it out the season healthy. You know.
The one thing I will say about Luka though, it is just a matter of time. Like he's a guy who screams of 1, 2, 3 kind of MVPs. The kind of production he has, the kind of offensive control he has of the game. When Luka's in the game, it's almost like, you're going to give up buckets. It's just how many. Can you dampen that explosive amount of scoring he can get? He can get his teammates involved, all that crazy stuff. But the player I had for the MVP, and this was more of a guy who I think is going to still put up elite numbers, and everyone's kind of chosen this team as the number 1 seed. Probably no surprises. Huge Thunder fan myself. I've gone with SGA. And I feel like this... 100% biased, but I'm choosing who I think is going to be the MVP. I think if the Thunder are going to be the number 1 seed in the West, and I chose the Mavs a little bit further down, I think Luka would be the guy who would compete against SGA. If the gap's big enough, I think if SGA can put up 30 points, the team moves well. They play such a nice style of basketball. A lot of people are buying into what the Thunder are doing now. And with how young the rest of the roster is, with the likes of Chet and Jalen Williams as the second and third best players, I think there's just going to be a lot more emphasis on what Shea's been able to do to elevate them. And there's no guy in the NBA who has more counters in his bag to when defense throws different things at him. Like, he's a guy who, once he gets into his spots, he can manipulate the defense to get further into his bag and get some nice shots off. SGA is going to be a player who's going to score 30 points, going to play elite defense. He's a really good defender. That's what a lot of these other MVP candidates don't really have going for them. And he's just, I think, if he's not first, he's going to be top 3. Like he has been last
year. I bet you 100 he doesn't finish top 3.
You bet you 100. What happened last time you bet me 100?
You got your money. Same thing as this time. If you by this side, reverse. This side, reverse. No chance. I want my 100.
You don't reckon he's going to be top 3 at all?
Nah.
He's the thing is, he's a pretty durable guy as well. So if someone like Luka or Jokic doesn't play 65 games,
he was durable last season. The other season, he's in my fantasy team, so I know he's not durable because the other seasons he was. Last season was a season where he was actually, extremely durable. Before that, nah, no way.
They were also a lot more cautious back then when they were losing all those games as well. There's that part of it as well.
But you don't think they would be even more cautious now? Now that it's sort of championship window, I think they'll be even more cautious to say we're going to go for
65 games isn't a huge amount of games, and a lot of these other guys. All the top NBA MVP candidates are going to be playing 70 minimum. So, like, if he has a few injuries, it just minimizes the amount of rest games he can take to hit those numbers. And with that 65 game minimum, I think, that's the target. And like, if you play around that, you'll be in for a shot at MVP. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's just too many variables with the other teams. And with Tatum kind of taking that scoring step back for the Celtics, like for the benefit of the Celtics' success and letting Jaylen Brown get into the flow of the game more and kind of get those shots up. I think that's why we won't see Tatum in the running. So I think, the way it works, just OKC is going to be in a better spot to have Shea as an MVP candidate than the likes of the Mavericks.
So that's a hundo right there. That's a hundo.
Yeah, I'll put a hundo on it. Top 3.
Yeah, so I'll say hundo. SGA is not top 3 MVP candidate. You heard it here first. There you go.
When doing this, the MVPs, I also threw out like a flyer of someone who I reckon like an outside favorite that could be in there. Yeah. And I had Brunson. Did you guys have any? Did you guys have any fly?
I think you're gonna be sarcastic and say like Kobe Buff. When I hit the BL, I was like,
no.
Oh wait,
I'm all serious.
Nah, my flyer there. I think I've got Giannis. I'm just gonna play it safe. I got Giannis. I think the Bucks are gonna be in for a big regular season. I think they're sort of on a revenge tour, particularly Giannis. I think you heard the way he's been talking in the media, saying that if we get bounced in the first round, I might get traded next season. So I think Giannis revenge arc. Give me a Giannis third career MVP, and we're way laughing. Oh, sorry, that's my flyer. My main pick is Ja, but if Ja doesn't win, I'd say another favorite, would be Giannis.
If you had a conversation with most NBA people out there and you were like, my favorite MVP is Ja, and my flyer, my outside person who's probably not got good odds to win MVP is Giannis, they'd be a little bit confused by that.
It's you got it rather I'm so high on Ja Wick, bro. I'm so high on Ja Wick. So, yeah, Ja Morant. Give me Ja Morant first MVP. It's time to get some new blood in there, man. Jokic and Embiid and Giannis have been dominating for the last 6 years, so we've got to get someone new up in there.
Thank you for that, P. That was lovely.
Who's your flyer, man? You got a flyer up there for us?
My flyer. My flyer is going to be someone that you're both going to hate. The crowd's going to hate it, but there is potential with the way that they've gone the last 2 years. They're potentially going to go this year. He's a leading man. He's 22 years old. He's going to be all-star this year. He's going to be probably all-NBA first team. Great player, highly rated, touted talent, and that's Banchero. MVP flyer this year.
When you said 22 years old, I was starting to think of like all these like kind of like I thought you were going to say someone like Scotty Barnes. I don't know how old Scotty Barnes is. He's probably in that age range. And I was getting ready to unleash. If the Magic have a good year, I don't hate that as like an outside top 5 for the first time.
Yeah. He's what do we say? 23, 6-5 through his first 2 years. Like, yeah. I can see him doing like 26, 27, 7-5 or something like that for like this year coming in, shooting on like 45%, 40% from 3 kind of thing. I could see that and him leading the Magic to the Magic to 52 wins or something, 50 wins. Like I could see that.
If Banchero shoots 40% from 3,
it's over for the league.
it's game over. Like, it actually probably would be game over.
Yeah,
What
he okay. Listen, maybe not 40, maybe 37 or something, but still, like he's not a bad 3-point shooter.
Oh, he's not great.
And there's no reason for him not to take a step in 3-point shooting. You know.
Yeah, be hard for him to take a step backwards.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow. I mean, we're seeing people do it. For example, one of them plays for Dallas.
I thought you had Luka for your MVP.
Oh, not that one. You may have forgotten about him. He used to be like a really insanely good shooter, all-star caliber, all NBA type of player. You may have forgotten him. He's got a few chips as well. I don't know if you.
By any chance, did he go 0 for 10 in an elimination game?
Did you? You know what? You've nailed it. You've nailed it on the head.
I'm pretty confident. I'm pretty confident I know who you're talking about, but I only remember him as the guy who signed the toast at that time.
By any chance, does he also do a symbol of 4 fingers up anytime he's getting blown out in a big game?
That is actually, I think, his signature move.
Okay, I think I might have got it.
Yeah.
But moving on to Defensive Player of the Year. Who do you think the Defensive Player of the Year is going to be this season? The favorite is Victor Wembanyama. Did anyone pick Victor Wembanyama? Let's start with you, Jed.
Yep, I did. Just to make it interesting, though, I also put 2 other names out there. I thought if, Victor Wembanyama gets injured, doesn't play enough games, I thought, it might be time for Bam to finally get one. He's a great defender. Probably one of those guys who's just never going to win the award, but always been in the running. And then another guy that I thought I'd put in there because I've tried to choose one player from my favorite team for every award, apparently. So I put Chet in there just for.
So is Defensive Players of the Year or Defensive Player of the Year?
Because we're going to talk about Wemby a lot, I just thought I'd throw 2 other guys out there. Chet for like runner-up or 3rd.
Wow, that's a surprise, isn't it? Because I told you I had an OKC player on here, and this is where he is. I have Chet Holmgren winning Defensive Player of the Year.
Oh, at least someone's got good taste.
Purely
Look how happy he is. You've made him happy.
Purely because of the durability. I think, he's going to be extremely durable this season. My only concern with Wemby is, if there's a small minor injury, I think the Spurs might be super cautious, as you were saying before with SGA, when you're not a super competitive team, you're not chasing the playoffs. This team is not going to be chasing the playoffs. If there is a minor sort of injury or anything like that, I don't think he's going to keep playing. But also the main reason is because I think Oklahoma City is going to be the number 1 defense in the NBA. And I think Chet Holmgren will be the best defender anchoring that defense. So I think he's going to get the recognition for anchoring the best defense of the league. Defensive Player of the Year, Chet Holmgren.
Well, thank you for that, P. I've gone, obviously, same as Jed with Wemby. I think he's just going to take another step this year. He understands defense and offense more in the NBA now. He's just going to take another step. Offensively, he's going to be sensational. Defensively, he's going to be sensational. And he's, there's potential that he might do, 3.5, 4 blocks a game this year, which is ridiculous. Anyway, and then I also did a Jed and had a little bit of a, potential flyer, and that's Anthony Davis. I think Anthony Davis will be runner-up Defensive Player of the Year this year. Yeah. I just think he's underrated as a defensive player, and he should get more recognition. And he does so much for the Lakers defensively. I hate putting a Laker player in there because I hate the Lakers, but I think he deserves to be in there, at least in the conversation anyway.
The story of Anthony Davis's career is just going to be nearly winning MVPs and nearly winning D-points, but just never quite getting there. It's so rough for him because there's so many years that he could have got D-point, never got it. And it's, I don't know, that feels so rough for him. Like, look at the end of his career, Hall of Fame. He's not going to have that signature individual award because the era that he was in, he just couldn't get to that. But he's obviously, we know he's top player, but yeah, just always nearly close to these awards. Every single time in the preseason, we always pick Anthony Davis, and I feel like he never gets these. It's sad times, man.
On this award, though, do you reckon it's the award that you should not bet on this year? Just because Wemby is paying so little, and these other guys, once you go outside of Wemby, the field's pretty wide. I feel like there's a few guys who can put their hand up. I just don't know if there's any value here. What do you reckon?
My one is MIP. I had MIP as the award not to bet on because purely I say not to bet on because it's the hardest. I feel like this one here, even though Wemby's the odds-on favorite, in my opinion, just my opinion at least, I think that the top three is pretty sort of clear. Well, for me at least, my top three, I'd be looking at Bam, Wemby, and Chet. Not gambling, not financial advice, but those would be the three guys who I sort of have as my clear three as favorites. And Anthony Davis, if you want to go 4.
With the EYP, I always just think there's like more value there because the odds are so long. Like the guy who wins it's always going to be paying a shit ton.
Yeah, it's so difficult to pick. 100% so difficult to pick. Because remember when Jar got it? Jar was still a 20-point. I don't know. Yeah, Jar that season. Even he said he didn't deserve it. He said he should have gone to Desmond Bain. So that's a scenario where even a guy who's a all-star or NBA level player can win it the next season, for example.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. So don't rule anyone out of those, but some hard awards to pick. But on to the next award to pick, Rookie of the Year, the fresh blood in the league. So, Rookie of the Year, who is your pick for that one? We'll start with you, Ethan.
I think Rookie of the Year is going to be the toughest award because who's really going to have a role in any of their teams and who's going to have enough minutes or production to really make an impact. So I think Rookie of the Year is going to be a tough one. And so for me, I've gone with Alex Sarr as being Rookie of the Year because he should be a starter in Washington. He should, play 25, 30 minutes, maybe a little bit more per game. I feel like he's got the most potential to actually be a breakout star with that team and with the current roster that they've kind of got. There's obviously a few others floating around that have showed potential during the summer league and during this preseason and that, but I just feel like Alex Sarr is probably going to have the best option, the best potential opportunity to actually be the number one rookie for the year. I don't think he's going to be like a star or a breakout or like that much of a threat this season as a player. He's going to have to develop into that, but I feel like he will be the Rookie of the Year.
Wow. Alex Sarr, the man who can't make a shot in preseason or summer league. I actually, hot take here, I think could be the number one pick. I reckon he's going to, the thing about Reece Shea, he's got a good skill set. He moves well. He plays well with Trae Young. Like, he gets into the flow of his shot. He's got a good read for the game. But no one's talking about him. And it almost feels like he has to earn his spot on the team as a number one pick. I think he won't start the year, but I think as the season goes on and he builds into it, I reckon he's going to become a key piece for this Hawks team. And if they start to make a little bit of a run, I think he's going to be a key reason why. But this is a weird year, as in, like, we all knew this was not a deep draft. We all knew that there was a lot of talent, but not top-level talent in this draft. So Zach Reece-Shea is my Rookie of the Year pick, and I just think, hugely underrated.
I'm just going to play it safe. I'm playing it safe with the big man, so I've gone with Zach Edey. Purely because I think he's probably going to have the easiest opportunity to score points just because of the team that he's playing on. So I'm going Zach Edey. Give me 14 points and about 7 rebounds on that team. And I think that's going to be enough to win Rookie of the Year purely, because I don't think he's going to be asked to create his own offense much, but especially in that system with Jar, he can catch lobs. He can finish around the basket nicely. He's I kind of compare him to Zubats. I think at worst in his career, he'll be a Zubats. And especially on this team, to be in a role like a Zubats, you're going to get yourself lots of easy points. You're going to get yourself rebounds. And 14 and 7, 8, that should be enough, I think, to get you Rookie of the Year. Sleeper shout is Stephon Castle, but I think he just needs to get some minutes. It's going to be a little bit tough on that team because I know they're developing a lot. There's guys in front of him as well, like Vassell and all that sort of stuff. But if he can get himself into that rotation nice and early, and if Pop is willing to give him that green light to go out there and be a starter or get starters sort of minutes, like 25, 30 minutes a game, he could be a flyer. But main pick, give me the man from Canada.
Interesting.
I also had Castle as like maybe a potential Rookie of the Year candidate. I think, as you just said, I feel like he's also got a real good opportunity to actually earn himself into a position starter and actually play and get some real good momentum with Chris Paul and Wemby and then Shoshan and Keldon Johnson and that. But it just depends on actually if Pop really wants to run like a real young rookie team with Chris Paul, or if he wants to develop off the bench and give him some G League minutes. That's all dependent on Pop, really.
Yeah, This is a weird year where I think it's going to be like a Malcolm Brogdon season, where there's going to be someone that wasn't highly touted coming into the season that finds himself in the right spot or the right opportunity with an injury or something going on throughout the year, and then someone's just going to pop off from there. This award, I think, will be a runaway award at some point, but it's going to be once that opportunity opens up, and who's the person who's going to take that opportunity is going to be the real thing at the end of the day.
Here we go. Next award up on the list. NBA Sixth Man of the Year. I can start with this one because I've got a little bit of a hot pick. I don't know if he is much, but I've got Russell Westbrook. That is my pick for Sixth Man of the Year. He's going to join his buddy James Harden as an MVP and Sixth Man winner. I think perfect position on this Denver Nuggets team. He's going to be leading that bench. They've got a quality roster already. He's going to be able to come in there. All he's going to be asked to do, get the other guys involved and be Russell Westbrook, be aggressive. So give me a Russell Westbrook. I like it. Not obviously, we know it's not going to be a triple-double, but I genuinely think 15, 6, and 6. That sounds pretty realistic. Or 15, 6, and 5, whatever you want to put it. But Russell Westbrook, Sixth Man of the Year on that Denver Nuggets team. You heard it here first.
I like that pick. You remember when he was on the Clippers before they ended up starting him? He was the front runner for Sixth Man of the Year. So he's shown in the past he can do it. And I think with this opportunity, perfectly in line there. My Sixth Man of the Year, sticking with the guard theme, I will point out 10 of the last 12 Sixth Men of the Year have been guards. So I've gone with Benedict Mathurin.
Whoa! That's nice. That's a good pick. I like that.
I feel like with an upstart team like the Pacers, there's just plenty of opportunities for recognition on that team, and this is the year where that's really going to come to fruition. And, Benedict Mathurin, he's a baller. He's proven he can have big games. It's just whether he can be consistent going forward.
Yeah, I like that.
Yep, nice pick, Jed. Nice pick. I've gone with a player that's probably been close a few years, but never quite got there, and that's Norman Powell. As my Sixth Man of the Year this year. I think with the Clippers and the team they kind of got rostered, I think he's going to have a big role off the bench. I don't think he will start, and I think he'll just, he will carry on. He averaged 14 last year. I think he'll just carry on average, 16, 17 off the bench, and he'll just do his thing. And they need another guard, obviously. But the Clippers also are notoriously really good for having men of the year. So I think Norman Powell will be Sixth Man of the Year this year.
Sixth man of the Year. Love that one. Love it. That's a good pick with Norman.
Thank you.
At least the Clippers will have something good going for them if they get Sixth Man of the Year there.
Yeah, Intuit Dome is going to be pumping when they award Norman Powell that Sixth Man. Intuit Dome. Hey, if the out of your chair, you get a hamburger. Shout out.
Well, the last person to win Sixth Man of the Year for the Clippers was actually probably your guys' favorite player that actually plays in the NBL now. Can you name him?
Oh, Montrezl Harrell.
Yeah.
Hey, who recently, I think, signed a little bit of extension with Adelaide 36ers. So, shout out, man. But that's our picks, man. That's the picks for Sixth Man of the Year, which leads us into Most Improved Player. I think this one's probably one of the harder awards, same as Rookie of the Year. There's no sort of clear-cut favorite to win this one. So, Most Improved Player, we'll start with you, Jed. Who's your pick for Most Improved?
I was absolutely torn right across the board on this one. The one player who kind of stood out to me the most, because I think this is a little bit of a stats award. It's either like a jumping into a first All-Star season or like a huge jump in stats. So I reckon Asar Thompson is my pick for that. I reckon last year when he got given the opportunities, he proved he could be a real key player for that team. So I reckon if he's given the right opportunities and with Cade Cunningham coming back, feeding him, he's going to be in a good position to win the award. One thing I will say, though, he really needs to work on that outside shot, and I reckon that will be the key to unlocking more minutes on the court. But as a rebounder, defender, just an absolute hustle player, solid rookie, but still a lot more he could do to reach the ceiling. So I've gone with Asar Thompson.
Well, that's lovely from you, Jed. Appreciate that. I've again was torn. Actually, I was torn between two Jalens, and I went with the one from Houston, Jalen Green. I ruled out Jalen Johnson. Jalen Green, I think, is going to take a big step this year and become the main man for Houston. I think he'll overtake Shingun and Fred VanVleet, and he'll be the main guy. I think he'll also make his first All-Star debut this year, and probably average about 25 a game.
Nope. I mean,
All-star over who?
Pardon?
Whose spot's he taking?
in the All-Star
What,
game.
an all-star?
Yeah.
Oh, look, I'm not going to get into that, okay? I'm not going to... Bro.
I mean, I just mean if you can throw out a take like that, that's kind of crazy. You're like, he's going to be a first-time
Yeah, I
All-Star.
think he'll make... Yeah, but there's
Ja
going
Morant's back.
to be a few people that are going to lose. What? It's okay. Look, I'm not going to go into because I don't have the entire list in front of me of who he's going to take. But I feel like Jalen Green's going to take a step this year. Well, he might not be an All-Star, but he's going to be in the conversation of actually being an All-Star.
Let me just throw up 5 quick ones, real quick. Is he going to have a better season than Luka?
No.
No.
Than Ja Morant?
No.
Than Anthony
Probably
Edwards?
No.
Than SGA?
No.
No.
Kyrie Irving?
Well, yeah, probably. Yeah,
Like-
or that. No, see, that's where that's close.
It's more on Kyrie Irving, but was Kyrie an All-Star last year? No. So he's not taking his spot.
So,
Next one?
so that's
like-
that's the names I
Okay,
have
so-
just to
okay,
start off.
so
with.
If I'm like, if I like looking at it, I think the way the Houston side's kind of set up, I would say that Jalen Green will probably have a real similar season to Steph Curry, stats wise, kind of. Like Steph Curry is going to obviously do what he's going to do, but I feel like look, when it comes to All Star, this is bold, but you guys can say whatever you want. But I feel like when it comes to like actual All Star and who you're looking at, like rather than actually just being like, okay, Steph Curry's still the greatest point guard in the league, and actually voting that way, if you really look at it, Jalen Green's going to be in that conversation.
That is wild. You're like, Jalen Green, one of the most...
Bro, you guys just said Luka and Shea in the conversation. Come on. Steph Curry and Jalen Green are going to have similar seasons this year. And when when it happens, you guys are going to do a couple of shots just for me. And I can't wait.
You've gone from Jalen Green Jalen Green is one of the most inconsistent, one of the most disappointing players at the time. Hugely athletic. It's very similar to Steph Curry. You are right. And you're going like he's going to turn into like the equivalent of a top 3 in his position at all time. Like it's kind of like
that's not what. That's okay. Firstly, that's not what I said. Secondly, Steph Curry's not top 3 in his position right now. Steph Curry is old, and what I'm saying is that Jalen Green is going to have a similar season to Steph Curry now, not of a Steph Curry back in 2016 when he was the MVP, a Steph Curry of now. Steph Curry doesn't have the weapons around him to carry that team anymore. Does he still have it in him to carry that team? He's a lot more injury prone now. Jalen Green is going to probably average about 26, 6 and 3 or 4 or something like that. And I think he's going to be opportunity to be an all-star. Kyrie Irving's probably going to do like a 24, whatever he's going to do. Steph Curry is probably going to be real similar points-wise, maybe 27 or 28. I'm not saying he's going to be better than Steph. I'm saying he's going to be in the conversation with him.
Bro, do you know how many guys they have on Houston? They've got so many players, and you reckon...
Yeah, but I'm saying that,
26
okay, but
points?
someone's going to have to take control of that team, and it's going to be him.
Man, ain't got to be
I
Jalen Green. No,
I reckon
It is 100%.
it is 3 times more likely that Jalen Green is not on that roster at the end of the year because their man who they've got up next, Reed Shepherd, is going to be pushing for that lead guard
please.
spot. And they're going to be like, Jalen Green, he's not the flavor of this month. We're going to ship him and we're going to commit. At some point, the Houston Rockets are going to have to make a decision. And you've seen it today. They re-signed
and it's going to
Şengün.
be Van Fleet gone. It's not going to be Jalen Green.
So you're saying that Jalen Green is going to average 26 points a game? I can guarantee you Jalen Green won't even average 23 points a game. No way.
Well, this is the best part about this conversation is that we can have this conversation politely and really discuss it.
Yeah, this is the thing. But the thing is, we can say these things, but we're going to put something up because Jalen Green is not averaging that many points.
Jalen Green, as a 22-year-old NBA player, was averaging 24 and 4.
But
24
look
and 4
at
is
that.
22.
Look at the team, though. Look at the team.
Yeah.
There's so many mouths to feed, and I just refuse to believe that Jalen Green is going to be the guy that averages 26 on that team. No way.
So then who's going to do it?
None of them. They don't. They're not that sort of team where they're going to have. None of those guys are standout guys to average 26. Şengün is a great player, but Şengün is not a 26-point per game scorer. Neither is Freddie V. Neither, Reed Shepherd's his first year in the league. We know Dylan Brooks, that's not him. We know Thompson's, that's not him. They've got a good, steady team that's well-balanced. For Jalen Green listen, Jalen Green averages 26. I'll give you the $100 that Jed gives me after, he loses his bet.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, put it this way, you're definitely not losing 2 bets if you put 100 on this one.
Well, my MIP, I've got Big Pimpin, Brandon Pazimski. You know, I feel on that team, he's got a good opportunity. I know Steve Kerr said that he wants him to shoot 7 threes a game. Lots of opportunity for him to facilitate the ball. I think, especially next to Stephen Curry, get lots of good assists. Then next to also Draymond Green. Draymond Green, we know he brings to the table. He can open up the floor for you. As much as people hate him, he allows guards to play better. And especially if Pazimski, I think same thing you had for Thompson. The 3-ball will be the key. If he can go out there, hit the 3-ball consistently, and also be able to facilitate, which I think he's going to have the opportunity to do. Plenty of shooters around him, and throw up some nice little lobs to the boy Andrew Wiggins and the cum bucket, Kuminga. And also, we know he can rebound too. So, give me Pazimski. Probably the same stats as I had. No, sorry, a little bit better than what I had for Westbrook. I'm going to say about 15, 7 and 7. No, maybe 16, 7 and 7 actually.
Yeah, the one thing as well, Paminsky's going to be, I butched that, but he's going to be have to be so good this year if he's going to be playing, if Steph Curry's going to be only playing as good as Jalen Green. So there's a massive gap. There's a massive gap there to fill, and the reduction where Steph Curry's going to experience this year. So for the Warriors' sake, they better hope he turns into Game 6 Clay.
If Ethan's right about Jalen Green, mate, well, he'll get, we'll give him a reward. He can, we'll name the podcast the Ethan McDonald podcast for like a whole week, I reckon. That's the fairest thing to do.
Yeah.
But
and we'll give the picks back.
Damn. But on we go. NBA Coach of the Year.
Okay. So you guys talk so much shit. Okay, so Steph Curry, so this is the projected, right, for this season. So Curry's projected for 26, Jalen for 25. Both same amount of assists, same rebounds pretty much. I think Curry's 1 rebound more. Same steals, and Jalen's projected for more blocks. Okay. It's not out of this universe to say that they are going to be similar statistically.
Could you scroll across and find the field goal percentages? And like field goal, 3-point, and then free throw. I just be intrigued to see how they line up.
Yeah, like that's going to take too long for me to be able to do that and go back and forth. But
probably.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
Let me guess.
Statistically,
I'll just run you through it. I'll just run you through it quickly. I'll stop you there. I'll just run you through it quickly. Field goal percentage. It'd be at least 5% lower for Jalen Green. 3-point percentage. Probably about the same. Probably 5% lower for Jalen Green. Across the board, at least 5% lower. So there's a huge drop in efficiency there. But thanks for coming to the party. Almost felt a wee bit mean there, but.
No, like you can. No, but see, the thing is, you're saying it's going to be at least 5% less, but you have like no statistical evidence to back that up. You've just thrown that out there. So, like, if you can actually like prove that, then like you let me know. But I've just proved to you that like their projected like stats are going to be pretty much the same. So my take on saying that they're going to be like that he's going to have a similar season to Curry isn't actually that far wrong, considering that other people actually consider them statistically the same player, or not the same player, but statistically the same. So you, by saying whatever the fuck you just said, maybe put a bit of information behind it.
Ethan, if you have any spare time, just type into Google Steph Curry, see what pops up, like shooting wise. You'd be actually quite amazed. He's actually quite well known.
No, I'm not saying about history, because historically, Steph Curry is the greatest shooter ever to play the game. And he's got sensationally good stats. I'm talking about the season fucking coming up that we have been fucking doing it for.
I know, I've had a nerve.
You just say a whole bunch of bullshit into a microphone, and then you're just like, yo, this is what it is. Fucking listen to this. Bro, back it up, man.
Okay, last year field goal.
Not last year, it's projected for this year, Jed.
Oh, but we'll just use last year as an anchor point. 42%.
Yeah, sure. The stats were not the same last year.
Oh yeah, because actually, if we apply a similar progression from year 1 to year 2 for Jalen Green, he went from 41.6 and he went up 0.7% in field goal. So if we include that, he might hit 43% field goal percentage last year if he continues that same improvement. 3-point percentage, he actually went down though, so he might drop to 32 next year. But that's okay because
No. What you should do, you should just base all of your information off last year rather than actually factoring in new and improved pieces of information. But we'll just go completely off what you're stating, and we'll just leave it at that.
I know you're having a bad day.
Continue on.
I know you're having a bad day right now because you're kind of saying.
I'm not having a bad day. I'm not having a bad day. I'm just
But what I'm
wanting you to give me some information that backs up your opinion that Steph Curry's going to be way better than Jalen Green this year.
At shooting, 100%. I don't.
It's not. It's, the game's not solely about shooting, Jed.
I think
If it wasn't, Jarwick would be the greatest shooter on the planet because we've seen that guy.
Divert. Okay, Ethan. What I'm saying now, I know you're having a bad day right now because I've really hurt your feelings.
Oh, you better fucking. Bro, I'm gonna bash your head in, bro. How about that? I'm gonna do it on camera too. We're gonna see it.
You've just learned who Steph Curry is. After this, go on YouTube, type in his name, and you'll see some highlights. It'll blow your mind. You'll have a real good evening.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. But also, same thing though. You could go search up Jalen Green's highlights, and it would blow your mind also. So, like, so what's your argument there? Because it's just a highlight reel. It's someone's opinion of a highlight reel, and they've just made it and put it together. It makes it way better when you got good music too.
But as we transition, NBA Coach of the Year. Who are your predictions for NBA Coach of the Year? I'll start. This team last season. And,
can I go first?
At 27 wins.
Yeah, go first. So, yeah, give us who it's going to be.
This one. Hold on, give me a second. NBA Coach of the Year. Give me Taylor Jenkins. I think the Grizzlies. I think they're gonna. We know there's so much room for improvement. There's all the guys are back healthy. Desmond Bain, Ja Morant. It's gonna be a big season for them. Big redemption arc season. And purely because of the fact that last season they struggled because everyone wasn't available. Same thing as I think the MIP. This one is all about improvement, how much you can improve a team. So yeah, Taylor Jenkins, he's going to be there. He was the coach last year, but I think because of the drastic improvement they're going to make, Taylor Jenkins, Coach of the Year. My flyer pick would be Mike Budenholzer coming in and possibly carrying the Suns to 61 season. Sorry.
Yeah, my pick for Coach of the Year is actually Ben Sullivan, who I believe is the Rockets shooting coach. He's going to make massive strides for one of his players this year, and it's going to result in a new All-Star. So I'm putting the house on that pick, and I'm pretty confident with it. I think Ethan would agree with me. You got anything to add, Ethan?
Yeah, so when we change topics and we actually talk about Coach of the Year, it could be really good of you to actually take a moment and take a couple of learnings from this and actually probably answer the question properly rather than actually taking the piss and trying to win an argument by saying something stupid. So how about you just go again and actually tell us your Coach of the Year?
Okay, it's Tom Thibodeau because the Villanova Knicks are going to be good. This is surprising. I don't think Tom Thibodeau's actually won the award before. And with the way the Knicks are constructed and with the way that team's buying into everything they're doing there, a lot of homegrown talent that, playing together again, I think the Knicks, they're just going to be in a good spot. And I've kind of lost my train of thought a wee bit, so I wish I could give you more detail, but, there's some background tension that's going on here, some things to be resolved off here, and, Coach Thibodeau is my pick.
Yeah, so for me as well, I also have Coach Thibodeau or however you want to pronounce it. See, my train of thought's perfectly fine because I think that with the Knicks and the roster that they've got, they're going to take a step forward. There's also potential for them to actually finish first in the East over the Celtics. Their first game, especially coming up tomorrow, is going to be a sensationally good game to watch. It's not going to be you're not going to see the best of each team because they're just warming up, obviously. But once we see that, we'll see them in the Eastern Conference Finals, and I can't wait for that. And I think Thibodeau is just going to carry them. And there's potential for them to go into the finals this year with this team and the roster and the construction that they have. And he's a great coach, and it's about time we got some good players around him.
Shout out the boy Tibbs. Hey, prayers up for all the New York Knicks players, particularly Mikal Bridges and Josh Hart. It's going to be a big season, lots of minutes. And Mikal Bridges, please, for the love of God, hit a shot. I mean, that was painful to watch in the preseason. And you're also in my fantasy team, so I need you. I need you to step your game up, bro. It's a big season ahead. So that is our key NBA award picks. I mean, as the season goes, we'll give you some picks for, the comeback player of the year, all that sort of stuff. Comeback player of the year, as well as clutch player of the year, executive of the year. I think those are probably awards that are at lower levels, so we kind of focus on the main ones today. But NBA season kicks off, tomorrow. Well, you're probably listening to this episode, it's today. So let's go with some predictions for the games. Let's go with the opening game, I believe it is. I think it's we're starting off in Boston for the defending champions, raising the banner and putting that ring up. Celtics versus Knicks. a preview possibly of the Eastern Conference Final, Celtics versus Knicks. Who do you guys have?
I've got the Knicks coming in, upsetting the Celtics on ring day in the TD Garden, and yeah, Knicks will win by 6 points.
I'm absolutely torn on this one because it's weird. Championship teams don't normally come in with a chip on their shoulder like the Celtics do, but historically teams suck on ring day, so I'm going to go with the New York Knickerbockers as well.
So I am by myself. I am going to go a 15-point blowout for the Boston Celtics at on ring night. I think, we know when they're on from 3-point range, like I think there will be on opening night at home as they raise the banner, they're on. So give me the Celtics by 11 plus. Whack that on the TAB, not financial advice. So that's 2-1 for the Knicks in game one. So game two, we're back in LA where the World Series champions LA Dodgers are, but the Los Angeles Lakers are also going to be playing tomorrow. Lakers versus T-Wolves. I'm going to start because my pick is obvious. Never bet against the King James, LeBron James, and AD. Lakers win by 7 against the T-Wolves. How about you, Ethan? Who do you got?
Again, I've got another away win. I've got Minnesota coming into LA and Crypto Arena and taking a 10-plus point victory over the Lakers and showing what they are capable of as a team.
I like it. Okay. How about you, Jed?
I've got the Lakers, and I'm taking the overs on LeBron tears. He's going to cry when he shares the court with his son.
Oh, yeah. And, King Griffey Jr. and King Griffey Sr. going to be in attendance. So that's going to be good. I think it's going to be a massive moment once LeBron James and Bronny have that moment of the court together. So get the cameras out. And anyone who's got that one-of-one card that was released, please send it over our way. And special things will come your way from God. But with that being said, guys, that is episode 56 in the books. Thank you again for listening. If you are a new listener, make sure that you leave us a rating or review on whatever platform you're listening to. If you enjoy the podcast, make sure you share it with your friends, your family, or your colleagues. Let them know that the best basketball podcast in the world, Dunk Dynasty Podcast, is releasing frequently, consistently as the season has now begun. And also, make sure you head over to social media, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Twitter, X. And make sure you leave us a follow, Len, what's coming up on the podcast. And, man, it is going to be a big season. Season starts. It's underway. With that being said, catch you guys on the next one. Dunk Dynasty Podcast over and out.
Catch ya.